Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 5 of the Invisible Gamecast, brought to you by Invisible Gamer. My name's Gabe Gerwin, and I'm joined today by a couple returning faces. We're on a little bit of a skeleton crew, but we're going to make do. So, hope everyone had a great week. So down there you see, first off, Tristan Edelman.
Hello.
And then our news editor, Brian Bell, to the right, or left.
I'm back.
Yeah. I can never decide. I said right last time, I noticed. And then when I actually went back and watched the video, it was on the left. So I'm not sure why that happened.
People just aren't going to care.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, those guys again.
Yeah. And I noticed as I'm doing this that I didn't put my lower third on. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, come on.
I know. It's so
Why
unprofessional.
don't I have a title? Can I just be like the Invisible Gamer pet dude?
I
like
mean,
human
that
being
sounds
pet?
kind of even stranger. And
A little
you see,
bit.
You see, this is the... And I apologize for this, but honestly, I don't really have an excuse. Today was pretty easy. But yeah. So.
Video games.
Yeah, video games. We have quite a bit to talk about today, but I guess this wasn't like a kind of breakout week or whatever, as you want to call it. There it is.
Post E3 is always kind of a dead
It was,
week.
and you expect it to be something bigger. You know, you expect there to be at least some residual news flowing out. And besides, we have a couple pieces that I guess fit into that category. There's one game in particular that I'm going to bring up because they just released a big demo this morning. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first off, here's something. This actually predates E3. There's been every month, obviously, we get the NPD numbers come out in some form. And this month, it was kind of interesting, I thought. First place, as you'd assume, was Watch Dogs, and then Mario Kart. But we also got Wolfenstein: The New Order, Minecraft still holding on, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I thought what was even stranger was NBA 2K14, for some reason, is still in the top 10. And like obviously it's a popular sports game, but it seems like a game that would have tailed off a little bit.
When are the finals for NBA? Maybe that kind of.
They
just
were
happened.
at the beginning of June, yeah.
Okay, you were happy about those, weren't you? Or do you not
Who?
care about basketball at all?
I don't care about basketball at all. So.
Well, didn't the Spurs win?
They did.
Uh-huh.
uh,
Oh, wait a minute. I'm confusing San Antonio and Sacramento.
Yes.
That's why you were completely silent. Sports.
I do like my basketball since we are a one-team down here, but my team hasn't been in the playoffs since 2006. Yeah.
Sports ball.
Hey, you missed, Gabe, you missed another game that was in the top 10, in fact, the top 3, and it was another sports game.
Oh, MLB. Yeah, that's right. And I was going to bring that up. So, this one's kind of cool. This game came out at the beginning of May, so this might have something to do with it compared to Watch Dogs and Mario, which both came out within the last, 5 days of May.
Yeah.
But yeah, MLB 14 came on PS3 and Vita in April, but it came out on the PS4 in May, which I thought that was going to be kind of like a weird sales thing for them, but yeah, that game still managed to hold on.
It's huge. It's great I mean, it was definitely based more on the PS4 sales since it came out.
Definitely.
In May. But it's great to know that it's able to capture enough baseball fans out there to chart on NPD still.
Yeah, and
Especially
I
on
back
a new
into that game.
console. Oh,
So-
I just finished my Road to the Show first full MLB season with my pitcher.
Oh, I can't stay. They keep dropping me down, and then I do well in AAA and go back up there, and it's in my head, and I can't do it.
My pitcher finished his first full season 22-1 with a .55 ERA
If I
and
switched to pitching, I'd probably be okay. I think it's because I'm trying to hitting in MLB The Show has been tough
It's
for
the
a long
worst.
time. It's so tough. Like compared to 2K, which was a much inferior game, the hitting in that game was so much easier because the thing about the show is that you have to guess the pitch or you don't have to, but like you guess like what type of pitch it is, and then you can guess what location it's going to be in, and if you're right, it'll like kind of blink and let you know, so that you know like if you, I guess fastball pretty much every time, so that if it's something else, I know, and it doesn't blink, I know it's an off-speed pitch. But in 2K, it would just, if the pitcher made a mistake, it would tell you exactly what part of the plate it was going to be and what pitch it was. So it was so easy to not.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I found that game really easy for me. Some people didn't, but number one is Watch Dogs, and I guess this is a nice kind of segue. Obviously, the game sold like 4 million copies in a week. It's the biggest launch for a Ubisoft game ever. New IP or otherwise. But recently there's been a new mod called the Worst Mod, I believe is the name of it. And it's not even really a mod. It's more of a... I don't even...
Are you talking about the digging up of the
Yes.
files that are already
Yes.
there for the PC version?
It's a workaround, basically. So at
Right.
E3 in 2012, obviously, there was a lot of smoke effects and a lot more people on the screen and some particle effects and weather and stuff like that that was not present in the final version of the game. And they had said, like, we have not graphically downgraded it back in December. And people, I guess, believe them, maybe? I don't know. It still seemed... They said that on a high, like, Ultra PC, that's what you'd be seeing, like compared to the E3 demo. But it turns out this wasn't really the case because there are files that are labeled E3 2012
That's so weird.
containing this sort of stuff. I saw the gameplay with it. Like, it doesn't look like it's not like night and day when you have those things in, but it does, look like the E3 trailer then.
That's
So-
weird.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you've seen in anything else in the
No.
last couple of years. But you have to wonder, the game as it came out, they spent so much time between when it was supposed to launch back at the beginning of the generation, and now building on that game. The framework for that original E3 demo had to be in the code somewhere. You can't just drop that much code after putting so much
Exactly.
time in that demo, right?
And their kind of rationale for it was they said like they were worried about performance hits because of all that stuff, which is kind of, I mean, okay, fine, you want the game to run better, but when you show this off and you advertise in your trailers, and by the way, we liked this game, you can find our review on our website. We gave it a B+. But if you're advertising in your trailers the game that defines next gen, you're saying, well, all this stuff on this brand new hardware that we just got, it's not going to work, or even on your brand new high-end PC, so we're going to disable it. And of course, people who are running those super powered PCs are going to be able to, play the game anyway. It's weird for me, and it has me wondering more about other games that they've, announced in the same fashion. The Division's obviously a much larger scale, and I don't think obviously the game looked amazing, but they've shown off a lot of other trailers for the engine, the Snowdrop engine, since then. So I'm not as worried about that one.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see when the Division
Right.
hits what the difference is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a reasonable expectation of that happening. It's just weird that the files are still within the game itself.
Yeah.
To me.
It's
Is the
and they're
crew
still labeled
running
as
on?
free. What's that, Brian?
Is the crew running on Snowdrop, or is it running on another engine?
I'm not sure if they've said. Most of their games run on Anvil now, and then they have
Yeah.
Snowdrop is Massive's like their own engine for that game, and they spent most of their time working on that. That's why people say, now that it moved from the 2014 release to the now 2015, it's more, I think, 2015, hopefully, and it might be 2016, because
Wow.
it doesn't seem like they have much of the actual game design stuff done. They've done a lot of getting the engine sorted out. But yeah, they have a lot of different engines, I guess. I was reading a thing that Mitch Dyer wrote yesterday for Rainbow Six Patriots, and we'll talk about some more of this in a second because this is related. But I guess a lot of the trouble with Rainbow Six Patriots on last gen was that they were trying to use the Anvil engine that Assassin's Creed had used, and that engine had never been used for a first-person shooter before, and just didn't work very well. It seems it's kind of strange. They have so many different engines now. Like Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon are both running on the lead engine, which is like a modified Unreal 2.5. Then Anvil's been used for Assassin's Creed. They now have Snowdrop for the Division, and they use this new Disrupt one for Watch Dogs, which you'd think they could have used Anvil for that since they're such similar games. It's very strange.
UbiArt engine.
Yeah, and then the UbiArt framework was,
which is the best.
As simple
engine.
as it is,
Yeah.
they get games out so quickly because it's basically
Right,
like
yeah.
Squarespace for game design. You just drag and drop.
That's great. It spawned some great games so far, or it's going to, I guess.
Oh yeah,
It seems to be kind of the thing for bigger publishers to have so many engines running at so many different developers within their sphere of influence, because there's no one single engine for any of the Sony first-party studios, nor is there anything running between 343 and Rare and Black Tusk and all of those.
Yeah, and you say the closest that a company's trying to get is EA, making everything on Frostbite except for their sports games, which are on that. What is it? The Infinite? I don't
Whatever
remember.
they call it. Sports games.
Yeah, the sports. I don't even remember
Sports
what they're called.
engine.
Ignite, the Ignite engine. That's it.
Ignite. Yep.
So
Although
like
I do have to say that new Madden looks really next gen compared to.
Let's be fair
what's
though.
been.
So did the one that they showed last E3, and the game looked nothing like that when it came out.
Yeah. You got a point.
UFC didn't look. Did anyone think UFC looked good when they showed it off?
I didn't even.
I mean, as far as
shut
the
my
quality
eyes.
goes, I thought it was kind of muddy looking. I don't know, and it's getting kind of shorter, shruggy reviews.
It's
But
getting
anyway,
worse than that, but yeah.
I think maybe Ubisoft's learning from their mistakes a little bit. The other thing I was surprised to learn is that over the course of the week, we've seen people saying, "Yeah, I got to play Rainbow Six Siege." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" This is something like with the Division after its unveiling, people were making fan art for that single image of the dude with his back turned and like the gear on his side, because that's like all they had of the game. But now people are saying, "Yo, yeah, they showed it off and then I played it." And they're saying, I think they really are trying to make sure people know, like, this is the game you're going to buy, is the game we're showing.
Well, a lot of sites named it Game of the Show.
Yeah.
Siege.
Yeah,
IGN
I
just
don't
named
really
it Game of the
think
Show today.
as a huge Clancy fan, it didn't wow me. I mean, it looks good, but it's nowhere near Game of the Show for me. It's like, oh yeah, it's good. You're doing some new things. The destruction looks cool, but I need to see a lot more. Especially after as excited I was for Patriots personally. But it seems like a
read
lot of
all
people
about his
maybe weren't.
excitement for Patriots in his Invisible Gamer feature from a couple days back.
Nice,
What's that?
nice plug there.
Yeah, I was plugging your piece about
yeah.
Rainbow Six last week.
Oh yeah, I don't even. Who's that? Who wrote that amazing thing on our brand new website? Yeah, so all of that. And anyway, but so yeah, these NPD numbers, to get back to this.
Yeah.
That's how this all started.
Segues.
So we said Mario Kart's at number 2. I'm very happy.
That's really impressive to me. That
Yeah,
it was in
I
like
mean,
2
install base
days on a,
has
on such a small install base. We haven't seen the spike in Wii U sales from that yet, I'm guessing. I mean, I know they released some kind of numbers.
They
but
quadrupled, but I think it's going to be. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that crazy. I had heard that like it was definitely improved, but not to an insane degree. But that sounds kind of.
I mean, it's
great.
now the fastest selling Wii U game.
That's not really saying
Which
much,
Michael
but
I
yeah.
predicted. I actually thought it wasn't going to sell. To be fair, I think that the fast-selling Wii U game is still going to be Zelda when it comes out. But
Possibly.
this is really cool. The thing about Nintendo, though, and especially with the way that they've having Wii U games releases staggered or spaced out this much, is that when they jump like this, people tend to get really excited and say, "Look, the Wii U's finally doing well." And then they kind of drop off again, and then
That's
a new
true.
game will come out a couple months ago, and they'll shoot up really fast again, and then it's kind of unlike other companies, and really unlike their other system, because the 3DS has been very steady now, right below the PS4 pretty much every month, which I think they got to be happy with.
Yeah.
Well, every hardware piece took a jump last month, which was interesting, because even the Vita jumped in sales because of Borderlands 2, which, to be fair, did not receive good reviews.
Yeah,
scores.
like-
A lot of people were waiting for that.
In other news, tons of people are really mad that they just bought a Vita.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, 50. They're saying it ranged around 50,000 consoles, and for a unit that was dropping below 10,000 units a month, that's huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Vita, and I think most people probably agree with this, is it's a system that a lot of people don't own, but once you get one, you love it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The attach rate is crazy for it, and
for me, though, I can't imagine how they're making a profit with games though, because there's so many games that I just buy or that I just play because they're on PS Plus. They give you so
right,
much.
me too. I haven't. I don't think I've purchased one Vita game since I got it.
The last Vita game that I owned the cartridge for, not even that I bought, but that I owned the cartridge for, was Tearaway.
Wow.
I got it as a gift. Before that, it was I reviewed
I got
Killzone
Liberation
Mercenary.
when I got Vita.
I reviewed Killzone Mercenary, but that was a review copy. Dragon's Crown was the last. No. It was it was Arkham Origins Blackgate. That was the last game I bought. Oh God, I hate that game.
Wow.
Well, I think one of the things they recently was they revised the PS Plus instant game collection policy.
Yeah,
and they're
so
not
that's
going to
much
be
more I guess spread out amongst the different systems.
exactly, and you're not going to have as many titles available to you each month like they used to have, like 5 or 6 Vita titles you could download as soon as you purchased your Plus membership, and now it's going to be something like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, and there's the main. It's so crazy to me though, because like they still have 2 of the biggest Vita releases every single month. They're free for anyone with PS Plus, Uncharted and Gravity Rush, as well as Wipeout, which I like put in my download history, but have still not played. Just because my memory card's too small.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing. I haven't touched my 3DS in a while. I'll probably play it pretty soon once I finally get Kirby and stuff. But so moving on, Tristan, you wrote a story about this one, and it's still kind of cryptic. Yoshinori Ono, the Capcom Vancouver director, who had worked on Street Fighter IV, is no longer the director at Capcom Vancouver, but it's unclear what exactly that means.
I think it's more of like they're done with Dead Rising 3, mostly, or it's like he said
Super Dead Rising 3, Super Arcade,
right, whatever. Yeah, sure, that too. And he tweeted out just like, I'm not director, and a lot of people misconstrue that as he's not at Capcom anymore. And then he clarified, like, no, I'm still working on everything else. I'm sure he's still working on Street Fighter. Anything else he's working on. People are speculating that he's working on that that one Capcom game. I can't even think of what it's called or what it's about, but there's one that he's rumored to be working on.
Let me just run through Deep Down.
Yes, that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Good first guess.
and I think it's just like Dead Rising's done. He's got other projects if he's working on that, and if he's doing more Street Fighter stuff.
Maybe it was lost in translation because like you don't tweet out the way he tweeted that if you're still at a company like that. Like he said, like thank you to everyone, you know.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. He's still internally at Capcom. I think it's more like he was just like there, like not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's not as significant as it first seemed, but it's still like, what are they going to be doing after that? And why would he be leaving?
And so the other thing that came out was that I guess the Capcom shareholders had rejected an anti-takeover plan. So my understanding of how this works in like economics and business is that a hostile takeover is when so many of your shares are bought out that another company basically gets control of your company.
Right.
And so now that could happen with Capcom. And I already saw Nintendo sites saying, could Nintendo buy Capcom?
No,
And,
yeah, a lot of people were saying Microsoft by, I don't.
Podcast Unlocked said like Microsoft buy Capcom, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous though. Someone said like Nintendo doesn't have the money to buy Capcom right now. It's like they're not making very much money right now, but they can definitely still afford to buy Capcom.
If they, I don't even think. I've seen some stuff saying it's more of like a move from the shareholders because it's kind of like a thing amongst all the shareholders to kind of push Capcom into a direction that is profitable, right? So it's like, hey, remember, we kind of have control over this company in some way, and if you don't bring more profit, we might sell you or whatever, like that in very simplified terms. But if anyone were to buy them, I don't think it would be a huge, previously known like gaming company. It would be something like a company that buys other companies for it's funny, like a venture capital group or something like that.
It'd be interesting though if you think about like which companies could. Obviously, Microsoft's never had a big stake in Japan, but they've had some deals worked out with Capcom recently. Obviously, like Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 3
Mhm.
were Xbox exclusives. Although I
It's weird
believe,
that 2 skipped that, but yeah.
yeah, and 2 was the oh god. I did not. I really liked Dead Rising 3. I thought it was a really fun game, but Dead Rising 2, ugh,
Mm, I haven't
I did
played
not.
it.
Ugh,
I haven't played any of them
not very
actually.
good. Dead Rising 3 is like I was worried because it's all gritty and everything, but it was a really fun game and it was still goofy. But Dead Rising 2 was just I don't know.
Hmm.
It let me down. Do you think that there's a chance that like a big publisher could buy them though, or that they could go exclusive to a platform? Because I see that as being like a
I don't
huge
want that
thing.
happening, but Capcom is, that so much of how they've been making money has been on multiple, platforms. So for a company to bring them on would be to like effectively cut everything they're making in half. So I'm not sure if who would want to take that chance or that fact really
Well, I mean, I,
into
I see it kind of as the
consideration.
same thing that like Microsoft thought with Rare was it's less
That's true.
it's less
But
of we want to get your profits because we're buying you, and more we want to hold you up and say, hey, look, you can only play these games on our system
that's
and
true.
to drive sales.
If
But
Capcom was
Capcom making
purchased
so
by
many
anyone, it would
games.
be huge. Yeah, I mean
One
they
thing,
have so many properties
It'd
that
be
it would
so
be
weird to
insane.
see Resident Evil as an Xbox exclusive, though.
Yeah, it's always been kind of associated with PlayStation, I think. But,
Hmm.
one thing to note about, and I think I saw this on some website earlier, is that in Japan it's very hard for foreign companies to come in
Mhm.
and take over Japanese companies. It takes a lot of work to do, not just your basic share purchase of stock, but there's a lot that goes into anything like that. And so, if there were any likelihood of another company taking them over, it would have to be an internal Japanese company like Sega, like Sony, like any of those businesses that would come
Yeah.
in and swoop
And
in.
Sony's not. There's no way Sony's doing
No.
it with how much that they've lost. Sega,
Yeah,
Sega, I'd say no, except they seem to be on a kind of buying spree. I just don't think they have the bank to really do that either.
They bought up a lot of PC properties
Yeah,
with the folding of THQ, that's for
yeah,
sure.
Relic. That's what I'm referring to.
Hmm.
But those were still like that's a drop in the bucket compared to buying a company like Capcom that has so many,
right.
not only
Yeah.
the company's size, but so many IP, so, like DMC, besides just Dead Rising, Street Fighter. Um, so yeah,
Mega Man.
Hmm.
they forgot about that too.
Yeah.
And
All right.
just
Well,
easy with it.
I
Uh,
don't think it'll come to anything soon, but
yeah, and this is basically just saying that it could happen. It's not going to say it's
right.
not like it would happen, and obviously it will be a while. But in terms of, I guess, exclusives, mm, this isn't as surprising to me as I thought it would be. And Brian, you read the story about this one. So Massive Chalice, a Double Fine game, is going to be console exclusive to the Xbox One.
Hmm.
So obviously before we saw Connect Party and a couple other games like that were Xbox 360 exclusives from Double Fine, but this is more of a I won't say mainstream since it's Double Fine, but it has a little more core gamer appeal.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, it shouldn't come as a surprise to too many people that Double Fine would make one of their games console exclusive, even though they did provide some free DLC for PlayStation users with the Playroom on PS4.
Hmm.
But it's been a while since we've seen them go truly multi-platform and bring something to everything. Most of their stuff has been PC based,
Yeah,
and Massive Chalice was originally kickstarted for PC, Mac, and Linux. So I'm not like you. I'm not shocked that they would choose to go exclusive with Xbox for this one, just because they've done it before and they
hmm
have a history of doing it.
it seems like they're really trying to get it. Maybe it's not too little, too late, but they're really trying to get indie developers to make their push. They had that I'd say much more substantial indie push during their press conference than Sony did, at least in the time that they used. Um, Obviously, Sony also gave the big stage to No Man's Sky, but Cuphead was the talk of the town after
Dude, I am
Microsoft.
so psyched for that game. Like it's
They've shown
insane
it.
how. Oh man,
They've shown it before, but I don't know. I'm still waiting to see
I
like
had no idea it even existed, and I don't know why no one told me because that is exactly what I want.
What,
I
Steamboat Willie?
love classic cartoons and stuff like that, and that's all I care about is that it looks like that. I don't care what it's even like at this point.
Exactly.
I'm
That's the
still.
kind of like I'm still waiting to see because they have me sold on the art style, but the rest of it
Oh
I'm
Mhm.
man,
still.
Now,
it's
do
so
we
good.
know? Do we know if that is going to be console exclusive as well?
I think it's
Um,
only Xbox platforms. I,
Okay.
think- I looked it up a while ago. It might be on 360 because there was like a chart of like things that are exclusive, and it was like there was like Xbox exclusive and then Xbox One, so like it was Xbox platform. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's coming to 360 as well, or if it's
Let
just
me let me check right now.
It's coming to the
So
original Xbox.
yeah, right.
it could. God, it describes it as a shooter in a fighting game universe, which makes very little sense to me. It's
Makes
Xbox One.
zero sense.
It says Xbox One and Steam. Well, as a competitive map called Exodus Blue, some armor, some weapons, and some ships. Does that excite anyone?
Exciting. Nope.
Um,
I'm still not
So-
sold on that game, and I didn't play the alpha or anything, so I don't know if
I'm not
guy
either,
to
and
talk
that
about that.
it's so weird. Like the games that you'd think I would be sold on because I love the developer and stuff. Everyone's freaking out, and I'm still waiting to see if this comes together. I'm just concerned
Mhm.
that its campaign or whatever you want to call it is going to be undermined by what they're trying to do.
It's definitely different from what they've done before. So, I mean, a lot of it feels the same from everything that I've heard from people who played it. If you've played Halo before, a lot of it, like one of my friends who was in the alpha said that yeah, the vehicle that I used, it plays just like this vehicle in Halo,
Hmm.
except for one difference.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe it'll surprise people. Everyone, like all of my friends who did get in the alpha, and I got in the alpha, and I never ended up playing it because I was out of town most of the weekend. Everyone that I talked to who played it really enjoyed their time with it. So
Right.
they're
Yeah.
pretty
Even people that weren't
discriminating.
sold on it before.
Yeah, a couple of them weren't sold on it before. So, and I
Yeah.
trust most of their judgments. There's a couple of them who are a little shady. But
Yeah, the thing about me is just the world building. I guess they're not giving us too much, but it looks kind of generic to me. Which
Right, me too.
Halo from the beginning I think had a lot of kind of character, and the alien designs and everything. You can't mistake the aliens in Halo for anything else. The grunts are grunts, that sort of thing. So anyway, this is something that it angered me more than it should, and it's for a very stupid reason. But one of the Gone Home developers,
Mm.
Jonathan Nordhagen, started his own company after being at Fulbright, and it's called Dim Bulb Games, and that's why it annoys me, just because it's the opposite of Fulbright. It's a dim bulb.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, he likes going off from the beaten path because
How
Fulbright
hipster can you get? You're working at a studio in freaking Portland, and you're like, no, dude, this is too corporate for me.
and it's like a team of like 4 people, and he goes
Yeah.
off on his own. Yeah, because they were all kind of working together on BioShock 2 and some other 2K games. Then they formed Fulbright, and now he's forming Dim Bulb Games after one game with Fulbright. So I mean, granted that one game was great. So
they earned too many Game of the Year awards. That was too mainstream for
Yeah,
him.
Gone Home
Yeah,
2,
right.
Gone Homer just wasn't gonna feel the same.
I'm excited for it. I mean, there's no indication of what they're making, what it's going to be at all, how big the team is, or whatever. It's
Mhm.
based in San Francisco, and that's all we really know. But it's interesting to say the least. So
Yeah, I'd like to see them do something. I'd like to see that they can still make a game with some traditional game elements that still
Mhm.
uses that storytelling. Because what they did, obviously, it was great with Gone Home. Was basically they stripped all the story, secondary and tertiary story elements of a BioShock game and made that the focus. But I want to see if this team is capable of making a more traditional game with those elements in
well,
it.
they made the best BioShock, so
That's totally wrong, but
I knew you were gonna. I'm just joking. It's not the best BioShock, but I just knew you were gonna get up and I was about that.
and I loved Gone Home, but I just don't want to see this become the point and read company
Yeah.
instead of
It's interesting. I think to see these indie companies splinter off after successful games, because it's not the first time that something like this has happened. After Journey won all its Game of the Year awards and finished its contract with Sony, a bunch of people left that game company. And
Which game company?
Good one.
and and I mean, we haven't seen anything from what that studio's doing yet, but two of the people who were involved in Journey just debuted their game at the Sony press conference. The Giant Squid Team.
Is that
Yeah.
what's the composer? Didn't he? Or is that a different thing? Where
Yeah,
it was like,
Yep, same guy.
okay, all right.
hmm
Yep.
I really hope that comes to Vita, because that's still one game that I haven't been able to play that everyone tells me I need to.
Mm.
I really am hoping it comes to PS4 because I want to see that. It's already gorgeous, and I
It's
want to
weird
see
that they
it.
put
in
Flower on
1080p.
PS4 over.
Yeah.
Hey, Flower is a great game. All right.
Well, that was done by Sony Santa Monica's internal dev team rather than by the guys at that game company.
Right, but it would probably be an easy port. I mean, it's not like they have to redesign the game
No.
Right.
and everything. Or just straight port it, frankly. Or put it on PlayStation Now. I want to talk about this.
Okay. Wow. Good segue.
Pryor at Kotaku posted some screenshots of the prices for PlayStation Now games to rent them if you're in the beta. To rent for 5 hours, or 4 hours, excuse me. To rent just for 4 hours. I'm gonna. It's just 4 hours.
Right. 4 hours.
Final Fantasy 13-2. It will cost you $5.
Yeah. No, that's terrible.
For
Okay.
90 days, it will cost you $30, which is more than the game would cost you if you just bought it.
Yeah.
And you're streaming it over the internet.
So here's the thing with that, and I can't talk much about it because I'm in the beta, but those are not final prices for one.
Right. Right. That's what I was gonna say. Is that disclaimer test? It's still in the beta. It's like a test
Yeah.
price, I would think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah,
It's the stupid
They-
test. They want to make sure that you pass it by not buying it.
and yeah, no, exactly. They want to find out who's going to be dumb enough to plunk down $5 during their closed beta and try these games out. And I'm not going to do it. I've got the beta, and I'm not going to touch that right now.
Are there any
But-
games that like are priced enough for you to actually be willing to spend money on them right now?
No, not right now, just because there are still free games that they have available to
Okay.
test out as well. So I'm going to spend my time with those before I even consider putting down money. Because
And that's the thing that Sony's been doing. It's like you're giving us so much free stuff. It's kind of gonna bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
I have so many free games from PS Plus that I don't even really think about buying new ones right now. Like I just beat Limbo. I'd played Limbo before, but I had never beaten it. I just beat that. I'm in the middle of Sly Cooper. What
Great
else
game.
am I playing? Freaking Terraria just came out. I
Yeah.
haven't played that yet. I'm gonna be playing that. It's like it's almost like they're. I don't know. Do they not want me to spend money? Isn't that what they want?
you're
Yeah.
giving money to them right now with the Plus subscription.
It's true, but I bought it on Black Friday, so it was like half off.
That's
I'm gonna
still
do
a
that
sale
again.
for them, and you're not going to unsubscribe now.
It's
You
true.
know the value that you get with it. You're giving them the money every.
But I'm waiting until Black Friday again. I'm gonna do that every year now. It's gonna be a
My
tradition.
subscriptions, because of Black Friday and other things, my subscription's good until 2016 right now. So.
Yeah. I should have got it for more than one, because now I have to remember on Black Friday that I need to
Yeah.
renew it again.
I got to renew it within a week here, I think, actually.
Oh, don't let that go down. And then,
Yeah.
well, I guess maybe they're maybe it's the long con for them with PS Plus on Vita. They want you to buy their super expensive memory cards because they have so many free games that they're giving.
Right.
I'm serious.
Right.
Like I'm almost out of space. I can put like one more AAA game on my memory.
Yeah, but
card.
you can delete stuff and then it's not like that.
Sort
I
of.
mean,
Exactly.
Like I have
inconvenient,
16 gigs. But there's so many of those games I still want to play. Like Sonic
it-
All Stars is like 2 gigs by itself.
but-
Sly Cooper's like 3.5. I was really surprised by that one. And then Terraria's like 22 megabytes.
right, yeah, because it's I want to play that game. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah,
it's
neither
still
have I.
sitting there. But anyway, I just thought that was a little interesting takeaway from all of this.
Yeah.
and hopefully the prices aren't freaking ridiculous, especially if you're gonna be paying for this service. I'm still not sold on PS Now, but I think that's because
Me
I'm not
neither.
as nostalgic for playing
I
Spyro 1 again.
like the concept. I think that it could. I think it could be great in the future, but for now,
Growing pains.
So speaking of PlayStation, let's talk about what's not PlayStation, and this will make sense in a second, I promise you. So,
Okay.
Outlast was the
Yeah.
first PS Plus, PS4 game that you got for free if you had the system. Now it's on Xbox One, and this seems to be
not the
a
first.
shift in policy, which I think might have been yeah. Oh, you're right. Excuse me. Resogun was.
Resogun and Contrast, which also came to Xbox
Oh,
One
I
later.
forgot about that game. Contrast.
Yeah. So Contrast came to Xbox One, and I believe 360 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Was it the first in? I think it was the first post-launch or post.
It was like in 2014.
Yeah,
It was like
first
one of the
2014.
first. Yeah.
Anyway.
No, Don't Starve was before it as well.
There you
What
go.
am I thinking of? Why am I thinking this is the first PS4?
It was one of the ones announced. It was one of the 3 games announced at E3 last year that was going to
Okay.
be a PS Plus
You're right.
game. Outlast, Don't Starve, and one that hasn't come out yet, which is Secret Ponchos.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So Outlast I played, and it's like 3.5 or 4 hours long. I thought it was good. I didn't love it like a lot. Like Jonah loves Outlast and Whistleblower. I thought it was pretty good, but obviously if you have an Xbox One and not a PS4, now you can play it.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I wrote the story, by the way.
Yeah,
it's interesting because of the parity clause that Microsoft has, where the game has to be released at the same time or before on Xbox in order to be sold on their marketplace or on their game store or whatever the hell they call it.
So freaking stupid.
And it's there's been a ton of indie developers calling it out, and end of last year when it launched, the Xbox One, and there was a lot of flack for it, and I guess they kind of are like, okay, we'll kind of not do that anymore, but they're still doing it. Outlast, I think, is like a big enough name that they want to have it on their store, because it kind of brought back that Amnesia thing where it was like scary horror games that you don't really fight or anything are cool again. So
Right.
yeah, it's cool for Xbox players, but
and with the Twitch support that Microsoft's gotten so far, and obviously now it's going to be a little bit of a problem because Kinect isn't bundled with it. But that was such a great live streaming thing, and I don't think there's a better type of game to live stream than a You're Screwed horror game where someone can be screaming on camera. So that's a great opportunity. I'm guessing this was something that was kind of quietly shot when Phil Spencer took over. My guess is he kind of said that's stupid. Why have we been doing this anyway? Obviously.
Well, another game that really made the rounds on PS4, especially when it first launched, was Warframe, a free-to-play third-person game, and that's also coming to Xbox One now as well.
I heard like 2 people talk about that game when it came out on PS4. I kind of surprised that they decided to bring that to Xbox One.
I know
a lot of people like it, actually. My roommate has played the hell out of that game, and he likes it a lot. It's not a great game, but it's fun enough and gives you enough options that you don't have to pay for, which is nice. That makes it stand out from things like Blacklight Retribution, which does have a lot of microtransactions.
Yeah, it's a lot more heavy on the microtransactions, right?
Although I think it's still a good example of how to do it correctly, because
Blacklight is good.
I honestly don't really like that game anyway. I think Zombie Studios kind of sucks, but sorry, but like
words.
At least the business. No, I mean seriously, I was thinking, oh, this is a pretty good developer. Like, look, they made Blacklight, and then early Spec Ops games that sucked.
Yeah.
That Special Forces Team X game that sucked. Daylight sucked. It's
they don't have a fantastic track record. I enjoyed Retribution. I played it on PC, actually closer to
probably a better place to play it.
To when it launched, and it's on that line of like it's almost really good in terms of the free-to-play model versus like this is terrible and I don't want to play it because I'm thinking about money the whole time. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to Warframe yet. There's a couple of PlanetSide 2 is also coming to PS4, right?
Yeah,
I want to get into some of those.
They announced a lot of free-to-play games in the montage that they had at E3.
Did anyone catch that Fat Princess game, or was that just me like not knowing about something that was? Was that
that's
already
coming
announced?
to Vita. No, it was a new announcement. It's coming to Vita.
Oh, really?
as
So
a
it really was
free-to-play.
just like our first look at it is in this weird montage of free-to-play games.
Exactly.
Can't we
Wow.
stop
Okay, I did
that?
not.
That's the other thing. Can we cut it out with giving you 4 seconds per game if you're a
Right.
small developer? Like, if the game's good, give them more time. And
Well,
I applaud Sony for doing that with No Man's Sky.
right. I was just
Obviously,
gonna say.
you can't ignore a game that looks that nice. But Cuphead, I think, would have gotten even more like praise if we had been able to see more than 2 seconds of the game during the freaking montage.
Yeah.
Well, when you pair it with things like you've got Threes and Plague Inc.
Right.
Evolved, which are 2 mobile games that have been
One-
ported up to.
I mean, and one of them is a copy of another game. The other's a
Exactly.
game that's been copied until the other one was arguably more successful.
Mhm.
I don't even think it's arguable. I think now I can't even remember 20 yeah 48.
2048.
Oh my, like, I have that on my phone and I don't have Threes because one of them was free and one of them wasn't.
Mm.
But anyway, I just wish that we'd cut it out with these montage indie things and let them actually have time if the game's good and not say you're worthy of 2 seconds. Entwine's the other game that obviously it was announced that it's available right now, but apparently it's not all that great,
Yeah, I saw mixed reviews for it. Yeah.
which is disappointing because like half of the dev team was from CMU, which is in my hometown.
Mm.
Anyway, now more, I don't want to say Nintendo doom and gloom, but FIFA has been a very strange franchise, and I think this has something to do with the fact that it's very popular outside of the United States. In fact, I believe last year's FIFA was the last PS2 game ever.
Right. Yeah. I was just gonna say it got released on PS2 not too long ago.
But now FIFA 15 will be coming to the 3DS and the Wii, not the Wii U. 3DS and the Wii. And obviously,
That
EA's
is
kind of
fine.
pulled a lot of support for the Wii U already. But it's very surprising that they
Yeah,
want
it's
to
kinda
put
weird.
it on the Wii.
It's definitely
Yeah,
odd.
It's kind of I don't know if that's ever been done before where like I guess it has been. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. I was gonna say like they usually will if it's like a big franchise like that where they put it on like every system under the sun where they put it on everything. So like
Yeah.
that means current gen, but not last gen or other way around. I don't know what I'm saying, Gabe.
New gen.
Basically, the
Yeah,
Wii U is
right.
getting dream.
The best
casted.
the best example I can see is something like having, and this was with a first party developer, was God of War 2.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean, though. I was getting kind of confused with that concept because that game didn't come out on PS3, and it's like it was obviously being developed. But like, FIFA's coming out, I'm guessing, on PS4 and Xbox One, right? And like PS3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's coming out on,
Oh, yeah.
on all those. It's not like it's been in development for one platform, and then it's too late to like do anything with it. The same with like Persona 4 for PS2 and all that stuff. It's just strange.
Yeah, and I think it's just a matter of like trying to figure out what sticks. And obviously, PS4 sold very well in Europe. The Wii U hasn't really sold well anywhere though. Even in Japan, they like their handhelds, so it's coming to the 3DS, which makes sense. I wouldn't be too surprised to see. Honestly, I don't want to see this game come to the Vita because you can see how much they care about that system with their FIFA development, which should have gotten them a class action lawsuit.
What was that?
So there was a FIFA football or FIFA soccer, I don't remember what they call it. It was the available at launch.
Six
for
of
the
one,
Vita.
half a dozen of the other.
Yeah.
Oh.
The next year it was the same game.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Remember hearing about that.
And you can say Call of Duty or Madden or whatever, it's the same. But this was like literally the same game with some different skins and rosters.
Right.
So
They didn't even hide the fact. They flat out said it's the same game with roster updates.
it's like, isn't that called connecting to the internet after I haven't played this for a while
Yeah.
anymore? I remember when it must have been Madden 07, and this was when the concept of live up roster updates was kind of new to me. I connected that game and I was like, you mean I don't have to buy Madden this year? I can just update and have this new wide receiver on the Steelers for once? And then I realized, oh, that's not all that game has to offer.
Yeah.
Something I thought was very funny, kind of in a not twisted way, but I don't. So Riot Games is letting employees within the first, I believe it's not 60 days of their employment, they're paying them to quit. If you start work at Riot and you decide that it just doesn't work out for you, they'll just let you quit and they'll pay you. And they gave it a name. It's not just like oh yeah, we do this. They're calling it Q Dodge. And I think of that clip of Nicolas Cage when the sniper scope is on him and he moves out of the way when the bullet's almost gonna hit him.
I don't even know what. That's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on this week, I guess.
Yeah. So Riot's a strange company. I have a friend who works there, but I don't know.
What could be the reason for that? Like, what's the?
They say like we're after people who are like we want people who are in it for more than just money. If you figure it doesn't work out, we want to make sure that you can do something right away. They'll give you a nice I think it's 10% of your salary up to $25,000, so you can get a fair chunk of change if you decide that you don't want to work at Riot. Maybe some people just don't know what to expect. Obviously, I think pound for pound, they're probably the most lucrative game company on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lol.
And they've even said they're not developing a new game, so all those new employees are going to be doing is working on.
Yeah, I just keep hearing about people going
updates.
to Riot.
Yeah.
Riot just keeps bringing people in. Is this them going like, oh wait, now we have too many and we can't just like fire them before? And so they're like, here's a little incentive to leave, so we don't have to. It's just weird. That doesn't make any sense.
The game director of Uncharted 3 went to
Riot.
Riot.
That's what I was thinking of.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You make the new story-focused maps for that game with quality voice acting.
Sure.
Unrelated, I guess, but do either of you like League of Legends at all?
No, I don't play League of
I've
Legends,
never
but I've played it for a little bit. I play Smite, which is my game of the year so far. But
if I had a PC, I probably would play Smite. But I tried League of Legends, and all my friends play it, and I could not get into it at all. And I'm sure if Amy was on,
I enjoyed it
me
for
how
what it
wrong
was.
I am. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I got destroyed. Everyone was an asshole to me. And
I never played it myself either, and I feel the same way. It's like
I kind of want to get
just
into
don't think I'd be
Heroes
able
of
to
the
get into
Storm just because I like the Blizzard stuff a little bit, but I'm not sure it'd be any better. And I hear Dota's kind of the same way as League. Everyone's going to be
well,
to you.
the community is like really intimidating, right? Coming in from the outside so later on. But I was in the closed beta for Smite, and I've been there since then. So I've kind of seen it grow. So I've become entrenched in it. But now that it's officially released, and that's like a very loose term because it was an open beta forever. But it's kind of like one of those situations where the bigger the volume, the more likely you're going to get assholes. So it's just like the community's become a little more toxic since I started playing. Because at first I was like, I've never had bad teams. Everyone was helpful and nice. And now it's like bad words, obscenities, and it just makes me sad. Sad for today's youth.
Oh, the youths, they're all getting corrupted by their Smite.
Yeah, by the Smite, yeah. It's a new drug out on the streets.
And so here's one other thing, and he's back for a few minutes, and then he deletes his entire Twitter account. So Phil Fish made Fez is now telling game creators, or game commentators on YouTube that they are going to be, I guess he's going to hold some content for them maybe, because he wants them to give him money for putting their videos on YouTube, and he says that they owe him money. And let's read a couple of the quotes here. And this is a pull from GameSpot. So some of his tweets before he deleted his entire account. Quote, "If you generate money from putting my content on your channel, you owe me money. Simple as that. If you buy a movie, are you then allowed to stream the entirety of it publicly for people to watch for free? No, because that's illegal." So what Phil Fish seems to miss is the whole idea of interactivity and what that changes, and the fact that that movie, well, honestly, Mystery Science Theater is what he kind of missed. Think about it that way, and obviously I think a lot of those were in the public domain, but it's the same kind of idea. If you're commenting over something like that, the experience, it's not people watching your commentary is the experience. It's not people watching the game is your experience. It's a combination, and that's something that you can't get, replicate. Besides just the fair use cloudiness that's there, it's free advertising. I've bought several games because I saw people playing them on YouTube. And
of course, yeah. That's how I hear about most of my games are most of my most anticipated games that
I,
eventually become
I
that.
don't know what Phil Fish is doing right now. Um, I
Nothing.
kind of was worried about him when he left. Now I don't really care, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Fez just like made him like insane or if he was always like that.
he
For
seemed
some,
to be always like that. But
yeah,
game the movie.
right. I've heard about his.
Everyone should watch that movie, by the way. It's amazing. Although only one of the people really in that movie comes off looking good.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'm not sure that they would have been too happy with that. Actually that's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, there's a bunch of good movies like that. The big other one everyone talks about is King of Kong: A Fistful of Quarters, but a movie that I think is a lot better is called Chasing Ghosts, about the Twin Galaxies arcade, which keeps the world records of all like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and all those games. That movie's great.
That's cool.
Anyway, so like, what's your opinion? Do you believe that game creators owe anything, or are owed anything? Excuse me, from the commentators, or the Let's Players even?
I don't think so. I think that you're right. They're getting a lot of business from people who are seeing these Let's Plays and saying, that would be fun to give a shot. There's always the risk that someone's going to view a game and just not buy it because they've lost that experience while watching someone else play it for them.
And there are some like story-heavy examples, like games like Heavy Rain, I think, are probably good examples of that. Like Heavy Rain, I think there's a point to be made that if someone were to make were put a bunch of annotations in a YouTube video and would give you the different choices, that you could basically play the game yourself on YouTube,
right?
And not have to deal with the QuickTime events or whatever.
No, don't badmouth Heavy Rain, Gabe. Stop.
I badmouth Heavy Rain like once an episode.
I don't like that.
This was my second platinum trophy.
It's such a good game, and Gabe is wrong for not liking it. No, I think it's absolutely not right. It seems to be the same discussion every time something like this comes up. Nintendo claims videos, Phil Fish just now. It's always like, yes, there's movies where you can just watch it and that is the experience, and then there's games where that's not the experience mostly. Most games, like we said, there's some narrative-driven games that, like Gone Home that we just talked about earlier, would like you don't really need to play that.
Yeah, that'd be a game that if someone here's the Gone Home, though, there's a sense of tension, unwarranted by the end of the game, but there's a sense of tension that's only really there because you're controlling it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, playing the game is obviously the better option in any case, at least in my opinion. I'm not Reggie on this subject, but like
Twitch isn't fun. Why are you? No, you don't get to decide that.
Yeah, I would rather play games personally, but I enjoy watching streams as well. But there's the value you get out of watching a video game is much different than the value you get out of playing or watching a movie or playing a game for that matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think open world games are probably the best example of games that benefit from this. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto was going to do well regardless, but it did very well. The example I gave is Darksiders 2. That was a game I didn't know very much about, and I watched like an SSOH PKC Let's Play of that and a couple other. I think actually CGR did a review of that a little bit early, and like right as that game came out, and I saw that and I was like, whoa, this looks awesome. And obviously it didn't help THQ that much, but
yeah, your one sale that went to you.
It's gonna 4-player co-op in Darksiders 3, man. And Nordic is now that's the other thing. Nordic is going to be using the THQ name.
That's so weird.
For publishing the THQ properties, and this is something I do not understand. THQ, seriously, regardless of like other publishers, if a game said THQ on it for years, I would not buy it because of the bad experiences that I had with their games and their Nickelodeon crap. In the last couple years of their existence, I think it's around the time that they changed their logo. They kind of snapped out of that, and they got Darksiders, and they got Metro, and they got Saints Row actually being good, and all that sort of thing. But people, I think, still associated their positive, reflections with those games and not with the THQ name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that Nordic Games is doing that because it's like cutting off a dead person's face and like wearing it, and it's like kind of creepy to me.
What's kind of creepy to me is that that's the first thing you thought of as an analogy.
Whatever. All right. Point is that it's really weird, I think, to like resurrect like a dead thing and then like wear it like it's like a gross dead meat puppet that they're like parading around like, hey, we're THQ, but they're not. And I don't care if that's
Atari just doing the same thing too.
I saw that Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob cuts off somebody's face, and now it's been seared into my memory. So deal with it. And it's just kind of strange to me. And you're right. It's like putting on an ugly person's face too. It's like, why would you want that face to wear? It's like it's just a weird move that doesn't really make any much sense. Not really positive.
So the other thing it was kind of announced now is Atari is going to be moving to like gambling.
What is with these weird company moves?
So I was under the understanding that Atari had already sold off everything, including their logo. So I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know.
God, if you're talking about a company that's trying to just rely on a name alone, Atari, this company really hasn't been relevant for a while, but they still own some developers and co-publish some games and whatnot. But the Jaguar, man, I don't see why that didn't do well.
I'm pretty sure what they're doing now. Like, aren't they doing just like iOS versions of their big games and then like gambling versions of their big games, like online casino versions
so
of
like gamble on whether Pac-Man can in fact.
Right. Yeah.
Miss Pac-Man in the end.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's gonna be great. And so Michael wasn't on to talk about these, but we put up a couple reviews on the site this week as well that he wrote. So, and we're going to be getting another one very soon. We're going to talk about one more thing after this. It's going to be our closer. So, Tomodachi Life, we finally have a review of that up. You can see it. It's a very personal review, and Pushmo World, which seems to be more of the same, but if you're into that sort of thing, it seems like it's right up your alley. So, last thing I want to talk about today. Very, very early today, kind of out of the blue, Konami posted a 30-minute. There was some Kojima getting interviewed and stuff like that too, but a 30-minute gameplay demo of Metal Gear Solid 5 Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Have you guys been able to watch it yet?
No. I watched the first part of it, but not much after that.
So this trailer or demo, showed off real-time horse pooping, as well as real-time cheap kidnapping with a big balloon thing, and I'm totally sold.
Yeah, no, this sounds like my game just from that description alone.
So I wasn't crazy about
Walker for consoles.
Yeah, sort of, which already happened, but yeah, but there were some features that I just felt were missing from Ground Zeroes that should have been in there. The one that really bugged me was to get guards to come to your position and to distract them to come to your position, you had to take another guard and have them call over the other guards. But in this one, you're finally going to be able to tap on a wall or something to do that. The absurdity, though, of kidnapping every guard and having a zillion balloons going up in the air and no one's noticing what's going on, or even vehicles or big crates, is so ridiculous. But it's so Japan. You've got to respect them for that.
Yeah. Metal Gear has always had the weirdest disconnect between incredibly serious story and just weird things going on in the actual game. And also it's goat kidnapping, Gabe. That's not.
Are you sure were they goats?
I'm pretty sure they're goats. Let's not stereotype our domesticated animals, okay?
I think it might have just been for the trailer, but everyone else when they put the balloon thing on him and have him shoot up into the air, they go ah! And then they had the guy who's running the gameplay demo. At one point, you rescue him and you shoot him up into the air, and he goes wee!
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that game.
That's what we've come to at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it comes out by the end of 2015, but I'm guessing that it's probably not going to. I'm still mad. I played Ground Zeroes, and it ended with a literal commercial for the Phantom Pain.
I told you that's because it is a commercial. It already is.
But I paid money for it.
Yeah, I know.
If this was a free teaser, that'd be okay. But this is almost as bad as Gran Turismo Prologue.
Oh
which
yeah.
is still the most ridiculous thing. You're an idiot if you bought that. And I'm sorry, my friend down the street bought that, and I told him how stupid
so did mine. That is a weird, weird coincidence. That mine did too. And I'm like, You know, the Gran Turismo 5 is actually going to be coming out like soon, and you just have to wait and you get the full game. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to get it anyways. But he's also a big Gran Turismo fan, so.
It wasn't that soon.
That's true. That is true. It was a while after. That's true.
You know
but
what
at
came
the
out
time,
with
it was like,
regularity?
huh?
You know what series came out with regularity during that time?
Forza.
Yeah.
They did put out 2
Yeah.
Gran Turismo games in 3 years, which is huge for them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So your face.
I guess
just wanna-
you're a Forza guy. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not. I don't even like racing. I just have always appreciated.
Just try to stir the pot.
Yeah, basically, I'm poking the bear.
That's Gabe. He's a pot stirrer.
Yeah. Gets dirty in the pot.
What? So now I want to talk
Don't
about
worry about
what we've been playing because I'm addicted to Sly Cooper, man. I can't stop playing it. I'm probably gonna play it as soon as we're done here.
It's a good game.
I
whole
mean,
series
I own it and I haven't played it yet.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
No,
I need
you're
to go
doing-
back and play the others.
You're playing Thieves in Time, right?
This is my
I
first.
haven't played that yet.
Yeah.
I played the first one when it came out in the HD collection, and it's just so wacky and crazy and fun, and I'm looking forward to playing Thieves in Time.
From what I've seen, people say that the first game is the worst too, and that they fixed a lot of the problems.
It's very
I like the
different than
first
the other
game.
ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. I played a little bit of 2.
I enjoy the first 3 very much. It probably goes actually for me 1, 2, 3 in terms of quality, or 2, 1, 3. But
Okay.
1 and 2 are really close.
And then I didn't even know this was coming out. I knew that they were making the Ratchet and Clank movie, but they're also making a Sly Cooper movie, which I watched the CG trailer for, and I was dismayed to find that they had changed Sly's voice actor and they had not changed any of the other ones.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It looks cool though. I like that. I didn't think that would look. Obviously, it was like a Saturday morning cartoon look for the cutscenes in the main games, but I kind of like this CG look they're going for.
No, Murray looks like gross.
He looks weird, but Bentley
He's
looks
like
pretty good.
He looks. I just like the hand-drawn style of the games, or I guess I don't know if it's hand-drawn literally, but it's like cel shaded, and then the
Seems like that would
cutscenes
work
are
better for like they
hand-drawn.
could have done a TV show or something.
Right, that'd be great. Like they do different heists and like stupid.
Or
hijinks,
even
whatever.
like what they're doing. What's that?
The powers thing. If they just did
Yeah,
a Sony program.
Yeah. Why don't they do something like that with Sly Cooper, where they have like a maybe 15-minute episodes? Do
That'd be
series
great.
if you're on
I don't
PS
know.
Plus.
Would be cool.
Why don't they do Tester again? Anyone get that reference? No. Okay.
No.
I got it.
Someone got it.
I'm friends with some of the guys from the Tester, so
No,
can't
I
talk
watch.
too
I
much about
follow some of them on Twitter. It's just funny.
You know what needs
it.
to be brought back?
Doc from the
Three-
first season.
You remember 3DX?
Oh no.
Remember
That
what?
show. Yeah, 3DX. It was when was it last 2 E3s ago? I guess Nintendo. That was during their big 3DS event that they had after their press conference. They announced 3DS, which was the really zany 3DS exclusive comedy, which looked like it was
Oh.
produced by high school students and was just.
I have no idea. I've never heard of
Well, you're lucky.
that.
So what have you guys been playing?
A lot of MLB The Show. I swear. Too much. It's keeping me from getting you my review of Transistor, Gabe.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
That I need to get. And I plan to actually. I'm not going to go into the next season of MLB until I get through a couple games in my backlog, including Transistor and going back and finishing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Did you play it the first time through?
Which one?
Tomb Raider.
Nope, haven't
Okay.
played it. I saw other people play it, and I've seen the ending, but
All right, because that's the thing that like everyone kept telling me you should buy that, but I'm like I already bought it and beat it on
Yeah.
Xbox 360. So yeah, I'm
to
not
be
gonna.
fair, I mean, I'm gonna go and buy The Last of Us Remastered.
Yeah, that I will
and play
buy.
that again.
But that I've only played once and I didn't own it. So
Yeah.
Tristan,
I've
what
been
about you?
playing games, video games mostly, and my phone keeps making weird noises. Mostly, I can't even think right now. Oh, Mercenary Kings. I've been playing Mercenary Kings and Infamous
nice.
mostly.
Yeah, Second Son is great.
Yeah, it's.
Mhm.
I'm hesitant to say it's better than the first two, but it's close. I like Destin a lot more than I do Cole, which I feel like I'm in the minority on maybe.
Delson, you mean?
That's what I meant. Did I say Destin?
Yeah.
I always get his name mixed up. I always say Destin. Yeah, so Delson Rowe. I just like him a lot more, and Troy Baker is a great voice actor, so I just like what he does.
Yeah, and Travis Willingham's great in it too.
Yes.
Who
And
does that?
He's Reggie.
Oh, right.
And
The voice
I
act-
can't
the whole
wait
voice
for
actor is
First
great.
Light.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, the voice actor who played Reggie and the actress who played what's her face?
Fetch.
The
Fetch.
yeah, who's starring in First Light.
Mhm.
They're married in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
It's funny. I learned that at the PAX panel they had for Infamous last year, and the story of how that happened, like how she came to be in the game, was really interesting because she didn't tell anyone at Sucker Punch, "Oh yeah, I'm married to the guy that you've already got hired for one of the parts, but I'm gonna go in and audition for it anyway."
That's cool.
she's
Just
been in a
really
lot of stuff
funny
I
to me.
really like. Laura Bailey's her name. She was Shin in Shin-Chan. And then
like the crayon.
yeah, Crayon Shin-Chan.
Japanese South Park.
Yeah, exactly. It really was. And she was Kid Trunks in Dragon Ball
Oh.
Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The great epic of our time, Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Z.
it was.
I've also. Go ahead.
I could sense the sarcasm in your voice, Tristan.
No, I mean I love Dragon Ball Z, but it's so dumb and stupid.
It's so
Um,
amazing. You shut your mouth.
It's so great and dumb and stupid. That's what it is. But, no, I've also been playing Ultima, which is a very old game, and it
The
is
first one?
yes, like from 1981 Ultima, and
Okay.
it's the dumbest thing I've ever done because I'm addicted to it, but it's an RPG from 1981, so just think of that. It's so any kind of modern conveniences you ever expect from a game is just stripped away for that game. Like it's just totally gone.
Is that the guy who made that is the one who said that he's the best game designer on the planet, no one else comes close?
I don't know. I mean, his name is Richard Garriott, if that rings any bells. But I don't know. I don't know anything about the backstory of that game or like anything about him or anything. But I'm enjoying it. It's just a random thing of history.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I think this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. As we said, obviously last week we had a lot to go over. This was a little bit light on news. But we should see you next time. We'll have a lot more to talk about. In fact, if you look right now, we have a redesigned website. It's kind of still a work in progress, so thanks for being patient with us. But we look forward to showing the final product very soon. So we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.